Yesterday, in the late evening, basketball world was thrown into a frenzy when we all found out that Kyle Korver had been traded from the Atlanta Hawks over to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, with Kyle Korver being a past All-Star in the NBA and in this league, a lot of people think that this puts the Cavs over the top, that it makes them unstoppable, and that it makes them even more of a formidable force in the NBA. Now, the Cavs definitely are improved by this transaction in getting Kyle Korver, but I want to take a quick look at how Kyle Korver actually does impact the Cavs and what ways he actually does allow them to improve. Let's be honest with ourselves. Kyle Korver is not going to give you 20 points a game, 25 points a game. He might only get you 20 points in a game on a few particular instances during the season this year. He's not going to play a stellar defense. He's not really going to impact the game in a grand way like a star would or like a star should. This trade has been completely overhyped. People really need to realize that Kyle Korver is only going to do so much for that squad. Now, the reason why this is a significant trade and the reason why Kyle Korver will impact this team is because he spaces the floor in such a way that the Cavs almost haven't seen before. So we're going to see what he's going to be able to do. He's going to space the floor. He's going to come off screens, and he brings veteran knowledge of the game of basketball that, quite frankly, they don't have. Kyle Korver, at this point in his career, is a pure role player. But here's the thing, okay? He does some of those little things that, guys like Steph Curry do. Guys like Ray Allen once did, where, they run around, they frustrate the defense, they come off screens hard, and they always are active on offense. These are the things that championship caliber teams have, and the things that the Cavaliers actually did not have before they made this trade. Now, what I think is important to point out is that to acquire Kyle Korver, what they had to give up was Mike Dunleavy and also Mo Williams. Mike Dunleavy, in my opinion, not a great defender, really inconsistent on offense, not really an athlete, doesn't move as well as he used to in his career. So, sorry, Mike Dunleavy, you had to go. Mo Williams, he's injured this year and, quite frankly, far past his prime and not even an asset to the Cavs. So this Kyle Korver accusation, though they gave up very little, Kyle Korver, he can impact the game if he chooses to do so. Now, the real question is, how does this trade allow for the Cleveland Cavaliers to stack up against the Golden State Warriors, not only the next time they play them on Tuesday, January 16th, but also in the NBA Finals? So, like I said, Kyle Korver is not going to give you any defense. He's not going to really be changing possessions. He's not going to be doing too much for that team. But what he does add is a little bit more firepower. He's not going to be stuffing the stat sheet or anything like that. But in times where you need a shooter to come through and hit a clutch three for the team, Kyle Korver can be that guy. And he can do it more so than Dunleavy can. And he can also do it more so than some of the guys that they already have. Kyle Korver is a guy who has potential to impact the court the way that J.R. Smith does. And let's be clear, the reason why the Cavaliers made this trade is because J.R. Smith is currently hurt and he's not going to be back right around until, I believe, if my calculations are correct, right around when the playoffs start. He's supposed to be injured for about 3 to 4 months, so right around when the playoffs start. So once the playoffs do start, I know Kyle Korver is filling that J.R. Smith void, but when the playoffs start, they are going to have J.R., they're going to have Kyrie Irving, they're going to have Kyle Korver, they're going to have three-point shooters like Channing Frye still, Kevin Love, and pretty much it's just more for the Golden State Warriors to have to defend, and I'm not sure if the Warriors have the ability to defend all of that. Now, this Kyle Korver trade really does not change the whole grand scheme of things. The Cavs are still going to walk right into the finals relatively unscathed. They're not going to win any more games than they would have. They're not going to lose any more games than they would have without Kyle Korver. Like I said, all this is just some extra and added firepower for them to have, and some extra security and veteran leadership. Now, what I want to do is just leave you guys with this final thought. How does this trade affect the way that the NBA Finals will go? Now that the Cavs have vastly improved their roster by acquiring Kyle Korver, how are the Golden State Warriors going to react to this? Are they going to make a move? Because they desperately need to, and they already didn't have enough defenders to throw at the Cavs. Now with this move, the floor is a lot more space, and the ball movement is just going to improve that much more. We'll see what the Golden State Warriors have in them, and if they're going to make a move. I believe they will, to even the playing field, but we're going to have to wait and see. Thank you for stopping by Golden Standard Sports. More videos to come very soon.